Hello everyone and welcome back to the Critter Corner. As you can see, I'm not in my reptile room. I'm actually in Disney World today. I'm staying at the Animal Kingdom Lodge for the weekend, and I just got back from being at Animal Kingdom all day. But I wanted to share some clips of this hotel, talk about Disney's conservation efforts, and also share some clips from my trip to Animal Kingdom. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this little montage slash voiceover kind of narration of my trip this weekend. I had a really fun time here, and this is my favorite resort in all of Disney, and like my favorite resort ever to stay at. And yeah, I really love what Disney does, especially their conservation efforts. So let's get into it. So the Animal Kingdom Lodge is basically a hotel surrounded by a huge safari. And if you have a safari view room, you wake up to animals outside of your window. Now, this may seem a little sketchy. I mean, like, when it seems like an animal hotel where people just stare at them all day, it doesn't seem right. But these animals have a ton of space, like so much space. It really is like a safari. Like, it's huge. So much land, and the zookeepers really take so much care of them. I watched the Animal Kingdom documentary on Disney Plus, and I learned so much about what they do here at the lodge, and I wanted to share a little bit about what I learned and how beneficial it is to have these animals here. So the Animal Kingdom Lodge and the Animal Kingdom theme park are both AZA accredited facilities, which means they have the highest standard of care for their animals. A lot of the things I learned in the documentary about their animals is that a lot of them are injured and cannot be released back into the wild. They are getting their medical needs taken care of, but even if they make a recovery, it won't be safe for them to go back into the wild. There's another part of it where they're being rehabilitated and they're going to be released back into the wild. We saw a lot of things in the documentary. They have a aquarium over at Epcot, which is another theme park in Disney World, and they rehabilitated baby sea turtles to go back in the wild. They were in, I think, like a boat accident or something, and they had a bunch of wounds, and they were rehabilitated at Disney and then released back into the wild. Since they are so close to the ocean and the beach, they get a lot of cases like that, and then they are released back. Another thing is that they breed animals that are going to be extinct. They do breeding projects to conserve the species. I know they did that for a lot of birds. I can't remember the exact ones, but they also are doing that for rhinos. They're doing it for elephants. If you watch that Animal Kingdom documentary, it is so great, and they share so much of this information, but I wanted to share a little bit about it now because I feel like Animal Kingdom, I've heard a lot of debates around, but really they are trying to do the best they can for conservation. They're not, I mean, obviously Disney is for money, which I'm gonna get into this later, but they are really working on a lot of projects that are very beneficial, and since Disney has so much money, that it's essential that they work on those projects because they have so much money. I also wanted to say before I forget, when we checked into this room, we had to sign stuff saying we won't throw stuff at the animals, we won't like use flash photography on them, we won't like anything to do with the animals, we won't throw trash in their habitat, and that's an extra step that they take to make sure these animals stay safe. So what does this place look like? I wanted to overlay some clips here showing our room and everything. It's really beautiful, and they have a lot of African, like, genuine art pieces in the lobby, which I think were really cool too. I think this hotel also, it teaches about animals, but I think it also brings a lot of culture that a lot of people wouldn't normally get. I think that's really cool. Also, yeah, I'll show you our balconies. So when you walk out of our room, you overlook this big savanna. Now there's savannas on two sides. I'm gonna show the huge savanna too. We are on the outside, so this one is not as big, but the one in the middle is really, really big. Both have ample space, and basically how this works is the animals are given snacks spread throughout different places, so they are enticed to go over there and be in the sight of people, but everything is completely their choice. They can go back in their like indoor house. They don't have to be outside all the time, and they have shelter. They have like hidden places if they don't want to be seen by people. So it's all by choice. They don't force anything on these animals, which is something they stress in the documentary, and also they stress so much in Animal Kingdom, which I'll get to later because I saw some shows in the Animal Kingdom that I want to talk about, but everything is voluntarily. So yeah, I think it's really cool. You walk out of your room, see some zebras in the morning, and I think that's pretty much it for the hotel part. So moving on to my day at Animal Kingdom, I woke up very early in the morning to go rope drop Animal Kingdom, which basically means you get there when the park opens. I started my day off in Pandora, the village of Mohari, I think it's called. It's the Avatar themed land in Animal Kingdom. So I started off by riding Navi River Journey, which is a boat ride through a forest, bioluminescent forest, in Avatar. I wanted to include this in the video, although it's not directly animal related, because it contributes to the message of Animal Kingdom as a whole. The whole thing that they really stress in Pandora is conservation. These Navi, these beautiful creatures, the banshees that you fly on in Flight of Passage, which is the ride I rode after Navi's River Journey, you learn to really appreciate how beautiful it is. The whole landscape of the area is so pretty. I can't stress how beautiful it is, especially in person. And people like gain respect for the Navi, for the avatars, for the like creatures in Pandora. And I think it transfers over to the real life animals on the other rides too and throughout the park. Because the message of conservation is so apparent in Pandora, and I think it's easier for people to get into their head when it's fictional, because they really like the rides, so they're really gonna like the characters, and then they're like, oh, I need to protect these characters. And I think that transfers over. I think it was really smart on Disney's part to go with Avatar in that area, and the way they did it, I really like. After Pandora, I headed over to the Tree of Life Trail to visit the Galapagos tortoises. Before I went to the safari, they were just eating breakfast, and they were super cute. Next, I went over to Kilimanjaro Safari. This is the safari ride in the park. So basically, it's a 20 to 30 minute ride, and it is spread across a huge savanna, like so big. I want to like show on the map how big the savanna is compared to the park, because it's so big. I don't think people realize how big it is. But yeah, we saw so much stuff, and basically you have a driver that talks about the animals the entire ride. She tells you facts about them, their natural behaviors, their natural environment, how many are left in the wild, what you can do to help them, all of that, which is really cool. I think it's really beneficial to like learn about the animals while you're looking right at it. It just puts the connection there and puts like the face to like something that's like she's telling you it's an endangered species, and you can see it right there. So it connects it really well. But yeah, I mean I always love this safari. I think it's really cool. I went in the morning, it was raining a little bit, but we still got to see a lot of stuff. We saw giraffes, we saw elephants, we saw zebras, we saw goats, we saw a ton of different things. Lions, painted dogs, hippos, rhinos. And yeah, conservation is pushed all throughout this ride. And also in the queue, they have little TVs. I wish I had a video of it, but they had little TVs that say, if you want your children to meet these animals, your children's children to meet these animals, we have to continue to preserve them, which is an important message. So Kilimanjaro Safaris is in Africa. Over there, they also have a walking trail with animals, like more like a zoo type style thing, and those enclosures I think are also really amazing, their habitats. And then we went over to Expedition Everest, which is the big mountain in the park. And yeah, there's not much to say about this. It's a really fun ride, and it's about a Yeti. They do a good job of representing culture in this area too. This is in the Asia area, and they actually had people from Asia like donate stuff, and they basically, the queue is like a whole Yeti museum with a bunch of myths and legends and like artwork, and it's really cool. And I love the way that Animal Kingdom does this. It's so detailed, and they really paid attention to listening to people that are actually from the area that actually went on these expeditions. So I think that's really important. The next thing I did was I saw the Finding Nemo musical. Again, not much about this, but they do talk about before and after the show conservation again. Keeping the oceans clean, the importance of it, connecting it to the characters in the story, which I think Disney does a really good job at. But besides that, this show is really great. The singers are so talented and the puppets are really cool. But I just really love this show. And over on this side of the park, I went to Dinosaur, which is a thrill ride in Dino Land, which is closing. Unfortunately, I think this might be the last time I ever rode Dinosaur, because I don't think it's gonna be here the next time I'm back. But we'll see. But again, Dinosaur, not much to say about it, but it does have really cool like artifacts in the queue and everything, and like fossils and everything, and I think it's cool, educational, and the ride is super fun as well. The animatronics are just really old and not working anymore. To wrap up my day in Animal Kingdom, I went to 2 shows. I went to It's Tough to Be a Bug. It's Tough to Be a Bug is like a comedy kind of show. It features animatronics and like a screen with 3D effects, and basically it just teaches you the importance of bugs and the different cool things that bugs can do, especially like defense mechanisms, which is where like the special effects play in. And I think it's really cute. It's based off of Bug's Life, and that movie and this show I think are important to protect bugs and teach people about them, but I don't think anyone really watched the Bug's Life or like cares about it anymore, which is really unfortunate because I love bugs. Obviously, I'm a reptile keeper, but I love this show. This is also another one that they are closing down very soon. And finally, I went to the Feathered Friends in Flight show. This is where the animals for entertainment come in the most. So this is a bird show. They show you a bunch of cool tricks that the birds can do. The birds fly over the crowd. It's a really cool show, and the hosts are very, very informed, and they teach you all about the habitats of the birds, their behavior in the wild. They also told a story about the bald eagle being almost extinct, and then conservation efforts brought it back. They talk a little bit more about what Disney does too, that everything that the birds do is voluntary. They do train them with treats, and they build relationships and trust with them, but the birds are not forced to do anything, which I think is like the overarching theme of both the resort and the park. And I think it really is the key to using animals in entertainment. I know we've seen SeaWorld use animals in entertainment really horribly, and I think giving animals choices and like their ability to make their own choices is what differentiates the two of them. So that's pretty much it for both the lodge and the park. Wrapping up this video, I want to say that Disney has such a large audience and a very diverse audience. In the parks, people were all different ages, so many different age ranges. People were from all over the world. They spoke so many different languages. And maybe people in the parks aren't as economically diverse because it is very expensive, but they still reach a really diverse and large audience. And I think maybe a lot of those people wouldn't get this information otherwise. If they didn't go to the parks, maybe they wouldn't know that like the rhinos are gonna go extinct and the different things they can do to help, especially with kids. I think kids adore Disney. They're very impressionable, and what the cast members say really matters. And I don't know if they realize their impact because they're just working every day saying the same thing, like the same lines in the bird show. But I see all these kids get so excited about learning about these birds, and they're so excited to go recycle now. They're so excited to maybe pick up trash in the ocean. And I think once the kids get excited, it gets the parents on board, it gets the grandparents on board. And the way Disney connects things, these stories and characters, to real life issues and real life problems that you can work to fix, that's what Disney does best. They take that magic in those characters, the love and everything, but they put it into a real problem, which is like just a match made in heaven. And I think that connection is something that I haven't seen anyone do except for Disney. So that's what I think of the whole thing. I also forgot to mention earlier, you can donate at any of the gift shops to Disney's conservation fund. You can round up, add like $5 to like your t-shirt or something and donate, and then they will give you a free pin. So I think initiatives like that and all the stuff those cast members are saying, the safari driver, the bird show host, all the signs around the park, you don't realize how much they're drilling it into your head that conservation is important, but you leave with this like inspiration to go help, and you don't even know why. So yeah, that's what I think of all of it. What Disney's doing, it could always be better, but to the scale they've done things, I think it's really impressive, and I'm super excited to see what they do next. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed this little recap from my vacation. Also talking about Disney, conservation, theme parks, all of that stuff, animals for profit even. I think it's all very interesting, and it's definitely a very big and loaded discussion, but I think it's great to talk about it. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. I do have one more vlog from vacation coming up. It is me meeting marine isopods, which I'm super excited about. So, yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Bye!